But sometimes he brings us through painful processes, and he brings us through difficult and frustrating situations, does he not? Sometimes he does things in what we would consider a backwards manner. Like he's seriously putting mud on this blind guy's eyes. Like if he couldn't see before, he certainly can't see now. I know that the Lord asked me to sell our house at probably the most inopportune time in this whole housing market thing. Why? I don't know yet. I know that Adam and Shelby, you guys got called to the mission field right before a international pandemic. And that's left like, God, do you really know what you're doing? Does anybody ever feel like that? I understand. It's okay to feel like that. That's pretty natural. It's a bad thing to stay in that place. And it's a bad thing to let that questioning turn into doubt. But the reality of it is, I believe most of us have been there. Most of us have walked a life where it seems like, God, you really are doing things in a weird manner. And I'm not really comfortable with it. Now, the problem is when we become offended with God for doing something differently than we expected him to do it. And I am coming to learn. I'm not there yet, but I think it's a mark of spiritual maturity to be okay when God deviates from your plan. It's an important thing that we've got to learn because I have plans, I have thoughts, and I have these kind of things in my mind exactly of how God is supposed to do what I want him to do. And can you guys guess how many times it happens that way? Not very often. And so, how often do we disagree with the way the Lord is doing things in our lives? Pretty often. Sometimes the Lord lets us do things that don't make sense from our perspective. And it's a challenge to have an unoffended heart sometimes, but it demonstrates faith and trust when we walk in obedience, even if we don't see the immediately positive outcome.